Hello there, good afternoon everybody, how's things? Still a bit murky here, I've got to admit, but it's nice and warm inside and Tommy's just made me a cup of tea, so.
You're welcome.
There you go, see, all good. He's getting out of the way now before I ask him to do something else. So, yeah, the look he just gave me is funny. So, okay, so what we're doing today, you notice that I've got a tiny tile with me today. We've not used one of these in absolutely ages. So I thought it'd be kind of nice to sort of bring that in. And I'm going to use a fine liner pen, a coloured one, and we get it to match the tile as well. And then my regular black pen, pencil tortillon is coming in. I've got my white chalky pencil, and I've also got my coloured pencils here. My other set, because of course, as you know, I did completely drop my whole set of pencils yesterday going into Hobby Maker. So yeah, they need a little bit of tender loving care, but it's all right, it's not a problem. Just don't drop yours, it'll be fine. Always tape the lid if you're taking them anywhere. So okay, I'm going to start then. I've done a little bit of inking on this one. Nothing crazy, I've added a little bit of purple around and then I've put my stencil down. It doesn't matter which way actually, it can be any, I might have it that way. And then my tiny tile is going to kind of sit up this top end here, so it's going to cover a lot of that, and this is where I'm going to do some of my bits of artwork. So you can do whatever you like. You can draw like a squarish shape in this top corner and just work on the tile if you want to, or you can use both, or whatever works for you. It's never an issue, just as long as you're relaxed, you're chilled, you're comfortable. So okay, first things first then, what I'm going to do just to sort of help me out is I'm going to put in that shape, just so I've got something I can refer to. Now, if you're drawing straight onto a tile and you're not going to use a tiny, that's fine, you're going to have that. So you're going to sort of see that square. And then whatever I draw on here, you'll draw on there. Absolutely no problem there at all. So here we go then. First things first. Now, another thing as well, if you're happy drawing shapes and things like that, you can go ahead and do this with a shape and a stencil, or you can do it freehand. I'm going to start off with drawing these shapes ever so lightly with my pencil, and I'm going to sort of sketch it in ever so lightly, and then I can go over with pen because it's quite a large bubble shape. Now, if you're not using a tiny tile, you won't need to be drawing in this bit. You're just going to draw there, because that, if you see, it's going to go underneath. Oh, Rose, thank you. Dobby is still insisting he's not coming out of that box. He knows Leslie's not in, and he's just using it as an excuse to not get any work done. Yeah. We're going to have to sit him down and review his contract. Okay, so a couple of bubbles there. Let's have another one. You see, notice as well, they're not too small. They're quite a good size. You want that to sort of gain the effect. I'm going to do a little, instead of that, I'm going to do a little one. And then let's have one here. I'm not worried about going over those stencil shapes, it's fine. Okay, and just a little one up here. Okay, so once you're happy with the shape, I'm going to come in and I'm going to use the fine liner pen. I'm going to draw those in. Now, you can use your black pen if you like, whatever works for you, or you can follow along and you can use your brush or your coloured fine liners. So for this one, I am going to draw all the way around. Or as I say, if you're using the whole tile and you're not going to put a tiny tile on, then this bit I would keep in pencil, because you don't want it going over the design that you're going to put there later, okay? And along we go. Again, working my way around. You can make amendments if you need to make it rounder in places. That's the beauty of pencil first. You can see where it's going. So, into this one. Again, just sort of turn it round so you're getting the same curve in the same space, because my hand's not really moving. It just makes life a bit easier. Oh, hello everybody. Oh, it's nice. Oh, I'm sorry, Bonnie. I will have them on my website soon. And we might have a little bit of news on that soon as well. Can't say any more. Said too much already. But yeah, if you watched yesterday, thank you ever so much, everybody. We had loads of messages. It was really nice. And it was nice to, first time I'd worked with Rosie, so it was nice too. Okay, so we've got these sort of bubble shapes going on. Now, I'm going to sort of ask you to sort of really go with me on this one. I'm going to just rub that line out. Because this is going to feel a little bit weird. I'm going to be asking you to do something that your pen isn't going to want to do. So you've got to focus. Are we ready? So I'm going to do this big one first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another bubble, but I'm going to be really close here and quite wide here. And as we're so used to doing an aura, that feels really weird. Okay, really weird. So wider one side, thinner on the other. So then the next one, on this one, I'm going to go really narrow on this side and keep it wider on that side. And then on this one, really narrow there, wide on that side. Okay, so it looks a little bit weird. So then let's turn it round and the same sort of thing again. So I'm going to go narrow here and wide, then narrow here, and narrow here. All right, looking a little bit crazy. So next one, narrow, wider. Charlotte, yes it is. That's gonna absolutely, yeah, blow your mind. Well, not quite, but I know you like things precise. This isn't. Did we like the illusions yesterday? It was. I thought they were such a good idea. I mean, the poison bottles are beautiful. They really are. But this is something a little bit different. It's nice to sort of play about with things and do something a bit out there now and again, isn't it? Okay, we got the idea of this then. We're keeping it narrow one side, wide on the other, and then switching sides. Okay. Oh, thank you everybody. They are great to use. Yeah, we were having I was having a look at them again last night. John watched the show last night where we were looking at a triangle and we turned it. Yeah, look. Okay, so I've got these sort of really odd shapes going on. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add just a few smaller bubbles in there. I'm not going to worry about going over there, but if you are using a tile and it's not got a tiny on it, you don't want to be going into that square. I can get away with it because I'm going to be putting that over the top there, you see. Okay, so a couple there too. All right, let's have a little look at those. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little bit of a curve in there, not two. Then one side I can do another. I'm just going to fill that in. Got a bit of a shape going on, a little bit of interest. So again, split it and then do another one. Doesn't matter which side. You notice that I'm turning it round. That's way too small, don't even try. We'll probably get away with one there, look. Sort of curvy shape. Fill one in. Just giving it a little bit of drama there. It's nice to fill a bit of something in there. And that one. Again, just keep turning it. Keep turning it. Okay, so there we are. Let's have a little look at this then. Okay, so that's where we're at the minute. So now I'm going to come into using this one. Now again, it doesn't matter which way it's going to go, so I'm going to leave it for now. If you were drawing it on your tile, it's time to draw on your tile. If not, then you're going to be using this one. Now, do I use my black pen or not? I think actually I'm going to stick with my purple. And I'm not even going to look for the middle. I want it slightly further away. I'm going to put a bubble in. Okay. So just while I'm at it, I can use my brush pen. I'm going to leave like a little bobble look. And I'm going to fill the rest in with ink. Okay. There we go. Oh, it's own. So then round my bubble, and I'm going to go round. You see where I'm going? Round and to the corner, and round and up to the corner. Take it round. Again, round and to the corner, and then again round and to the corner. Okay, so I've got that. So I've now got to decide where this is going. Is it going to face that way? Is it going to go that way? Honestly, looking at it, we want to have this line really coming down because it's going to come over onto the tile at some point. So that's where I'm aiming for that one. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now, just to make life a little bit easier, I'm going to put a little bit of tape behind it, and I'm going to attach it to my larger tile. Oh, there we go. So just to be sure, I'm going to just rub out those pencil lines there. Don't need them. And then if I don't get it on quite straight, doesn't matter. Okay. Oh, Leslie, maybe so. Maybe that's where it's come from. But I've got some plans using that. So, all right. So that's where we're at with that. Quick sip of tea. And I'm going to start in this section here. So let's have a look. Looking at this line, we can do this either way. I'm going to actually turn it round, and I want to follow this line like this. So I'm doing that aura. So if I turn it round the way it's going to be, see? So I'm following that shape there. So in we go. And I'm going to continue that all the way down. Keeping it going, following the shape as we go. So I've noticed some tile swaps coming in, which is good news. If you've never done the tile swap before, honestly, it's worth having a go at. Don't have to be an expert. You don't have to ever have done it before. You just watch the video and it'll explain everything. Just have a go. It's a bit of fun. And honestly, it's nice to get a tile from somebody. It's different to your idea. It really helps, I think. You can learn a lot from it. Okay. So that's that one, like so. Nice. Rose, I'm not so sure actually. Should we try it? There we go. Let's put pencil line in. And let's go over the top with that. And let's go over the top of that. There we go. It's not moved. Okay, so there's, hopefully that should answer your question. Okay, but give it a try first on the back of your tile, just to be sure. There we go. So I'm doing the top one now, see? This top one. So I'm working in this corner here. So, wandering around. And filling these lines. It's quite a nice tangle to do, this one is. Sometimes working with straight lines, I say straight lines, they're not really straight, but working with lines is quite nice, and it really takes you in. And mixing it with those bubbles as well. Okay, that's where we're at so far. So let's look at this point here. I'm going to extend it. Now it seems to sort of want to go this way. So that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to take it that way. And it's going to disappear behind that shape. Yours might not. Yours might sort of come out and have a gap. So you could put a curl on the end. So let's start with this section first. I'm going to go a bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm not going to come from the round this time. I'm going to come from slightly in, just as I was doing those lines. But this time I'm going to draw my line, and it's going to go so far and so far. And each one is going to have sort of a different length. But this one I'm going to come out, over. I'm going to create a little curl there. So I'm following the shape. Let's take it out that way. Put a curl on the end. I'm not going to do that with everyone. And if it's on this tile still, it's not going to have those curls. See, now here it feels like it's going that way, so let's do it that way. And then a couple more of those shapes. Let's do another one. See, that looks like it's going underneath, and keep it going, just sort of changing the length. See, let's have that going sort of around that bubble there. Okay, now on each of these lines that I've got here, I'm going to add a bubble, but then let's add a couple more so we work our way down. You see, it's following the shape, and then again, and it's going to work its way down, following the line. It's getting smaller as you go. See, those two, they've got curls on, so we'll move to the next one and add those dots in. Now you see I'm not taking the dots off that tiny tile, so it's staying within that sort of shape or that space that we've allocated for it. So the curls are going off, but the dots aren't. Let's do that one so it looks a bit different. So I'm not going to get much in there, so we'll go through that. Okay, that's where we're at with that. So let's come to this one. And again, now usually you see we follow different sort of ways, and this one we'd be thinking, oh, we're going to do a different sort of shape, but now I'm going to follow it just as I did before. So along it comes, I'll work my way around. So let's bring this one out, and a little curl in. Now here it's going to be a little bit different, isn't it, because I've got this shape and I can take it over that if I want to. It's entirely up to you, you can do that. Maybe I will. Yeah, let's do it. A little bit further down, I think. So let's do this one. And go over the top. Fill that in. And then more. You see as it works its way down. And, so that one's going to go under there. Maybe it's going to come back round there. And then little lines. Okay, there we go. So just as before, put your little dots in as we go. And work it in. Sort of getting smaller each time, adding those little shapes in. There we go. So you want each one to be slightly different length. You don't want them to be too uniform if you can help it. So if you need to add a few extras or take a few dots out, you can do that, and try and keep it within that space if you want to. Sort of dotting them around, and there we go, tiny one there. So let's have a little look at that. Okay, oh, let's go a bit bigger. All right, so we've got, you know, a few bits going on there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a border in. Probably the best way to do that. Given that I've got one here, I'm just going to use a tile to do it. Now I'm going to come in so it's slightly inside that one there. So it's quite a sort of a wider border. But I'm not going to go over anything that I've drawn. So I'm going to leave gaps. Okay. Let's put little dots on the end as I work my way around. And then the same on this side. So again, look, I'm going to come slightly inside there. It's not going to be that big. Oh. So it's just sort of working around the shapes I've got. So, dots in there. Just to sort of finish those ends. I'm going to join that one in the corner there. So we've got a bit of a border going on. Okay. So it doesn't look like so much just now, but we're going to come in with a bit of colour, I think, and a bit of shading. So, pen away, and I'm going to start with pencil. There we go. Where shall we start? Let's start on the tiny tile. And looking at this bit in here, see where the lines are going horizontally? So here I'm going to put my shadow, or my pencil, there. Don't be too shy with this, we want to get some on there, okay? And the same on this side. Although just be careful to, because I've only got a bit of tape holding that in. Along there, okay? Oh, did I? Oh, there. There's a tiny one on there. There is a tiny one. Oh, there. There, yeah. Again, there's a tiny one. I'll go back and do it in a bit. If I get my pen out again, I'll make it a bit bigger. Okay. So into that one, and then here on this edge as well. Okay, so I'm going to do here, as I'm going to bring my tortillon in, and I'm going to do this as I go. So working my way. Now rather than just do it straight, I'm going to follow that curve all the way down. So we're trying to continue that shape if we can. See? And then let's just sort of pull it out so it takes off that edge there. It's giving it a little bit of a shape to go with, okay? And then on this side, we can do that zigzag because it's kind of straight anyway. Round we go. Okay, that's that bit done. Maybe just a tad more there, like now I can see that. Same on this side then, let's just follow that curve round. Sure that it's dark there. And just sort of pull it out. Sometimes that edge does need a little bit more work. Let's pull it out. And then this one, we can work it down like so. Okay. So that gives us that one there. I'm going to come back in a short while. I'm going to put that line back in, so we want it a bit darker, but we'll leave it for now. So in this section then, what we're going to do is add a little bit here. I'm not going to do the edge, I'm just going to do that bit there. And I'm going to do this bit here. Okay. Just a little bit down that side. And again, soften it off. And we're more interested in this edge. A bit of shadow in there. As we go round. So as it goes up and along. And then this one. See, I'm going to sort of swirls because it's kind of open. And along we go. That. Okay, so let's have a look at these little circles. colours here. Now I'm going to use the pencil to start with, then I'm going to come in with some colour over the top. But if you want a brighter finish, then just go in with colour. But I think it's important if you're just going in with pencil, you need to see it. So on the narrow bit, the edge, I'm going to add a bit of pencil, just a little bit there. And then on the narrow bit here, a little bit. And then on the narrow bit, and then at the other end. So we're going opposite sides each time. So let's do all of these. So here it's, I've got the narrow bit there, look. Just a little bit there. And then there. And then there. And I'm not really going to see that bottom bit there. So my narrow bit. So if you always start on the narrow bit, just a hint there. Then the narrow. Then the narrow. Then the narrow. And let's do this one. Again, narrow. Hint on each side, and again, so there's my narrow. I'm just going to go so it can sneak under there, and that one, and that one, and then this one, little hint. There we go. Alright, so let's have a look at this then. So let's do a sort of a full shaped one here. Just going to very gently give that a little bit of a move along there. And then on this one here, we're just again softening off the edges. We want to try and give that a little bit of a burnish almost there, and then soften the edges. You see, always working with curves. Same here, look. Fill that bit in, pull it round. And pull it round. And again. And then again. Okay, let's have a look at that. Alright. So I'll come back in with my white pencil and my pen in that again in a short while, but let's do the same with these. Work my way around. Making sure it's quite dark there, getting lighter. Same on this side, and this side, and this one, and then this one. Make sure it's as dark as you can get it there. A little violet, look. And that side, that one. And again, that's too small to do anything with, so we'll not worry about that one. Again, just making sure it's filled in there. Bring it round. You want to create that curve shape, because each time you do it, you want to imagine that it's actually round. I think so, Sue. I think so. It's kind of a nice one to do. And if possible, it's nice to do this because then when you get the stencil, you already got a little bit of an idea on shading and where to put shapes and things. It gives you a bit of a taste for things to come, really. So, okay, let's have a look at that. All right, look at those. So, okay, I'm going to bring a purple coloured pencil in. Let's have a look what have I got. I'm going to come in, it's sort of more of a magenta-y because it works well with that. Let's go in a bit more. So, I'm going to add it in on the dark bits, like so. Now if you're using just a regular pencil, you could actually come in and do this with a black pencil to give it a little bit more of a darkness about it. Okay, let's have a little look at that. Okay, I think there's going to be more of these. I think we've started quite we'll start gradually and we'll build our way up with these. Okay, you see getting a bit darker there. And again, you do this, you could actually go back in with your regular pencil and do another layer. Or say you can use a black and build it. But I'm going over where the grey And of course, if you're using just regular pencils and you're not shading it with a tortillon, then that's fine too. You don't need to put that graphite on first. It just helps you to get an idea where the shading is. Okay, a little bit darker. A bit more there. Okay, I'm just going to bring it down here. Just a little bit. Just to give it a sense that we're doing the same on both. Let's have a look. I'm going to come in, I think with now I'm not going to use black. I think black might be a little bit too harsh for this. So I'm going to use my dark grey. And I go back in on those lines and put that grey in. Now again, if you want to use black for this, because it's going to give you a stronger appearance if you already used a black pen, I think grey is probably enough for me because I'm using that lighter sort of purple. And then here, let's again just bring it in on each edge. So we're just sort of almost finishing those ends off. We don't really need much, but it's just giving them that little highlight there. You know, and like with Sue saying earlier, it's it's about going through stages we do, and I think the tiles are really useful for that because they actually help you with the stencils that are coming. So and it's always worth having a go at these, isn't it? Just to see what you've done with it. So yes, there is more content in there. The value is more in the instructions than the stencils. The stencils are still a value, but the instructions and the written context is more. So because you've got more instructions in there, that's why it was a little bit higher in price. It should actually be $21.99, so it was cheaper in the first instance to buy it from Hobby Maker yesterday. I think they had it on at $19.99, so you're getting a little bit off there. But yeah, that was the reason why. If there's only like the illusions, there's those sets of instructions for 4 things, whereas there's 9 in the poison bottle. Okay, you see there where I've added some pencil. Coming in now, I don't want to move it too far. My way along. Same there. Along we go. Now notice I've only done 2 sides of this. I've not done the outside area. Just the bit where it sort of touches this. And then I've actually gone outside on the stencil there with the, or outside the border with the shadows. Working my way along it, just giving it a little bit of shadow there. And whilst I've got some graphite on, add a little bit just to one side. Notice it's not touching, it's just slightly off. If you need to pick up a bit more graphite, you can go back in there. Plenty on there, you don't need to add more. Just want a little hint. Okay. So I'm just going to bring in my white chalky pencil and I'm going to add my highlight down the centre of that and down the centre of that. And then I'm not going to touch this bit here, but I'm going to just look at if you've got a tile where it's got a little bit of a spot. See, adding that little bit of a white on there. Can just sort of bring out the whiteness. Certainly that I've put a stencil in the background, so that'll sort of eradicate that a little bit. It gives you that highlight. And last sort of thing to do, and just gonna touch up that white pencil on both sides. And along we go. Okay, so a little bit of that. Okay, I think just going to come back in with my fine liner and just sort of on the bottom of a couple of these. You see, I'm just going to thicken up that line a bit. So just where I've put that shadow, I'm going to do a slightly thicker line around that shape there. There you go, I'm going to put those dots back in. Alright, don't need to do too much else with that. And just sort of on the inside there, just redefine that inside shape. Just where the dark bit is, putting that in. There we go. Alright, looking good. It's just knowing where the darks and the lights and how dark can you actually go. I think that's the important thing. Let's go back over that. And then here, bring that line back in. And that one. But I'm not going all the way down, I'm just going to go in bits. Okay, just part way. So whether you've used a tiny tile or whether you've actually drawn it, see that looks like it's sort of raised a little bit. So, okay, all done. Have a good play with this. Try it with some different shapes maybe and see what's happening with it. I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put my initials in it. There we go. And all done for Friday, you know, a nice sort of, not a quick one as such, but something that's got a little bit of a difference to it. So with that said, there is our 330 all done. Another week gone, isn't it? Yeah, we're into April for the next one. So if you're around on Sunday and you're doing the quilt, we're doing the last block on Sunday at 3 o'clock on the Sanntangle page. And of course, if not, other than that, we'll be working back here on Tuesday at 2 o'clock for our number 331. So have fun with it, post them, let's see what you're doing, and have a lovely weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.